Okay, moving along. I have so many more to go. Oh my God, it's crazy.
I would prefer not to.
You've seen him. You play him.
And if an adult,
Oh, this is, I forget the name of this. This is a relatively, it's a Coen Brothers film, I think.
and if an adult, I would prefer not to.
You've seen him. You play him.
And if an adult,
I like it. I like this one.
You play him.
and if an adult,
So I like that. I think this, I like how you're using a script to kind of sell the fact that there's an audition here, then he's reading off some lines. I think that's fun. Maybe a little bit more set dressing could help. It wouldn't take a lot. But I think this is good. I think this is probably enough. There's,
I would prefer not to.
You've seen him.
the lip sync is a little bit off. I mean, I don't have the Maya scene, so I can't really break it down. But my first impression is it doesn't,
I would prefer not to.
like, it feels really off, to be honest. I really, really like this little moment here when he does like a little lip lick. I love that. I think that's really cool. I probably wouldn't have thought to put something like that in. I don't know if that was in the reference or what, but it's pretty cool.
You play him.
There's a couple moments where like it's like completely static, where like if it really feels like the character just freezes right up.
I would prefer not to.
You've seen him.
Also, this whole hand thing here, I really feel like that could have been better accented with just even a little bit of echoing from the hips, just a little bit. Like, you don't have to go over the top with it. I like the fact that it's very isolated and it's sort of like almost like the hand's got a mind of its own there, but you can't go too far with that in my mind without it starting to feel like it literally has a mind of its own and it starts to lose that feeling of a body emoting. Like, at least have, something in the clavicle and the spine at the very least, but I would say even just a teeny little bit in the hips too, where it could be doing something a little bit more like just something that it kind of flows through the whole body and connects everything, so it's not just like a hand, kind of like a rogue hand. Also, it's very uninteresting kind of pivoting down like this rather than being like kind of a downwards motion, kind of gripping the gun with a bit more force, and then when that contact happens, have an influence of the hand's contact with the gun could go a long way too. I mean, it's a big beat. That's like the only thing happening right here, right? He's waiting, and like the only thing really happening is his hand coming down. It'd be nice if there was like a lot to look at there, and you're like, that's a character moment. So I would, that's the audience has got nothing else to look at, so they're going to be looking there. Now there's that licking of the lips that happens there too, which I would maybe even try to get a bigger separation between this moment and that lick lip to make sure that they're not competing for attention. Because I like both those moments, but they're a little bit close together.
Seen him. You play him.
Just by a little bit, maybe a half a beat. There's that static, like that. The whole body here is very static except for the eyes, which is great because it gives a lot of emphasis on the eyes, and that's like our eyes go right to his eyes because that's the only thing moving. But pixels should be moving, and I'm not really getting the sense that they are. There's a little bit of pixel moving on the arm, but like I like to always say, if you're moving the hip, you get everything kind of moves for free for you, right? Because pretty much everything, unless you have like hands, but even if you do, at least the arms are going to move. You're going to get movement throughout the whole body. And I think that the hips, I always start there, make sure that there's always at least something happening on the hips, even if it's super, super subtle. I almost feel like the kind of gag of what happens here almost maybe happens a bit too fast, because he kind of goes down so fast that the hat stays there, and this axe flies through and goes between the head and the hat, but it's like only one frame where you would be able to ever see that. You could have maybe let the arms stay up there for like at least another frame or two, to kind of get yanked down, which would have given us a better window to see that axe kind of catch that paper and move into the background and slam into the wall. I mean, we get the idea, just that
I would prefer not.
I get this feeling like it almost happens a bit too fast, so we kind of...
And if an adult,
Anyways, I spent a lot of time on this, which usually means that I really like it. So this is definitely one of my favorites so far too. I like this one a lot. I think it's really, really cool. It's... Okay, I gotta stop playing it. Let's keep going. Keep going, Brent. You can do it. I don't know how to say this nicely, so I'm just going to say it. This doesn't work at all. There is, so I mean, there's the question of audition and how this fits into that, into what I'm looking at. There's also the question of body mechanics, where it's like his knees are very broken, and like there's no side to side. Like one of the trademark movements on a cowboy walk is this swagger, the weight shift from one foot to the other foot. None of that's there. So, like, I'd love to know, are you using reference? Because if you are, I'd love to know what it is. I think that I get the feeling that you're not. I get the feeling that you have an idea of how a cowboy walks and you're just sort of riffing on it. You're just going. My advice to you is start using reference. Either get your own reference, or find some reference from a film, whatever it takes. Use live action references, usually your best bet, but get some reference, and then learn how to break it down and learn how to see what's in that reference. Learn how to pick up on those key poses and see the movement happening from throughout the frames. Like, look at the patterns, look at the repeating things. This is I make this sound really easy, but like that's how you start. That's how everyone starts. You'll see some people that don't use reference at all, and it's usually because they have such a good idea and library in their head of how things move, but that library was formed from somewhere. It's formed from observation. So my advice to you, my friend, start using reference. And if you are using reference, find a way to getting a hold of me and tell me that you are, because that's the problem is either the reference is really bad or you don't know how to look at it.